Mazon, which means food in Hebrew, was founded in 1985 by visionary leaders who were intent on rallying the American Jewish community in the fight to end hunger. Their initial impetus to act was in response to the devastating famine that plagued Ethiopia at that time. But as they continued to develop their idea, it became clear that hunger was not confined to the continent of Africa, but also existed on our streets, in our neighborhoods, and all across the country. So the focus of Mazon's efforts were expanded to include the United States, which remains the primary focus of our ongoing commitment and efforts. Mazon wants to end hunger in America and supports efforts in Israel and other parts of the world to relieve hunger in their communities. We believe this is possible, but only with the cooperation and partnership of the public sector and the private nonprofit community. This provides the foundation for Mazon's holistic approach, engaging in both tzedakah, which means justice, and tikkun olam, which means repairing the world. We directly support hundreds of charities all across the country that provide and care for the vulnerable people in their communities, and we challenge our policymakers to provide adequate support for the national nutrition programs that serve as a critical safety net. Neither the federal government nor charity alone can end this devastating problem. But if we succeed in getting them to work together, to each accept its own important role, Mazon believes an end to hunger is within our reach. Mazon is unique because it is a Jewish response to hunger. As Jews, we have an obligation to respond to the needs of the most vulnerable people in our communities. Mazon was the first national organization to rally the American Jewish community around the issue of hunger, and remains the only national organization within the Jewish social justice community that is focused exclusively on ending hunger. Our priority is, and has always been, to educate and mobilize the Jewish community in our effort to end hunger. Mazon has been involved in the fight to end hunger for 26 years. The depth and breadth of our experience gives us unique perspectives on the challenges and potential solutions to this devastating problem. Mazon has a secure and respected place at the anti-hunger community table, giving the American Jewish community a collective voice in the conversations that impact the nation's food and nutrition policies. Working with our nearly 1,000 synagogue partners, Mazon led the field in practicing and promoting advocacy as a critical means of fighting hunger, a position that has been adopted by most of our peers in the field. Mazon also facilitated the development of and provides leadership for national anti-hunger coalitions working on every facet of hunger relief. Mazon is at the forefront of addressing the link between hunger and obesity as it relates to the Emergency Food Network, which is becoming an even more critical resource in these challenging economic times. Mazon has a legacy of fiscal responsibility and transparency, and a reputation for trustworthiness. Mazon has earned the respect and admiration of its colleagues in the national anti-hunger community, as well as in the Jewish social justice space. Mazon measures the impact we've made on hunger by looking at the level of advocacy mobilization throughout the country. We are proud to have guided each of our nearly 300 grantee partners to create and/or expand its food stamp outreach program, which has prevented millions of Americans from falling through the cracks in the federal nutrition safety net. Mazon also measures our impact by the depth and breadth of the knowledge of the Jewish community about hunger in America, and the number of congregations working with us to advance our mission. And finally, Mazon maintains very low administrative overhead costs, between 7 and 9% of our annual budget, leaving over 90% of our revenues to be put towards advancing our mission of ending hunger. Mazon does not collect food to distribute to those in need, nor does it have the resources to use its donations to buy food for hungry people. We have only one office, our headquarters in Los Angeles, California. Despite the reach and impact of our work, we actually have only 15 employees. Mazon is a Jewish response to hunger, not a response to Jewish hunger. The California Nutrition Initiative, a multi-year capacity building initiative that enhanced the ability of the California Anti-Hunger Network to serve as advocates for effective public policies and for the people their organizations serve. The California Nutrition and Healthy Eating Initiative, a unique collaboration between Mazon and practitioners in the anti-hunger field to research, compile, develop, and disseminate strategies and tools that would assist the Anti-Hunger Network to become stronger community resources for healthy eating. Healthy Options, Healthy Meals, a national program that promotes healthier eating in low-income communities by making more diverse and nutritious food available through the nation's emergency food network. Vital and lasting partnerships with over 300 anti-hunger organizations in virtually every state in the country, emergency food providers whom we have engaged and empowered with partnership grants that help them keep their doors open while they advocate on behalf of the hungry people in their communities. Partnerships with nearly 1,000 synagogues who, through their support and their education and advocacy efforts, help us realize change in the lives of those who are most vulnerable. Until recently, hunger was not a sexy issue, and many people believed there were far more pressing social issues that required their attention and financial support. Mazon worked diligently to get people to focus on this issue. Historically, hunger has been a nonpartisan issue. Recently, however, recommended solutions to remedy this challenge, as well as the people who propose them, have become far more divisive and polarized. This is a situation that does not bode well for the hungry people who need help, reinforcing the need for organizations like ours. Mazon would create an innovation fund to springboard new ideas and strategies for addressing hunger in America. We would expand our Healthy Options, Healthy Meals project to additional food banks, as well as food pantries. We'd like to mobilize more of the American Jewish community, including additional synagogues, as well as those who remain unaffiliated with a specific congregation. We would hire additional education and advocacy staff, as well as establishing regional offices. Mazon has been exploring how to develop programming to address hunger in communities that are currently underserved, in rural and remote communities, as well as among veterans and Native American Indians. We know anecdotally that these communities have unique challenges with respect to their ability to obtain nutritious food, but we'd like to do more to specifically identify what those challenges are, as well as the most appropriate ways to address them. Additional funding would help cover the cost of research and related travel, and allow us to dedicate staff time to this idea. Additional funding would also allow us to launch the program we design, including hiring a full-time staff person to implement it.